Hi, and welcome everyone. I am Kim Traup. I'm the director of Christian Friends of Israeli Communities U.S. office, and we are coming to you today, Sandra and Shmuel in Israel, and me in Colorado, just to say hi and to give you a personal update. um we've got some exciting things going on, and this year in March will be 25 years. I can't even believe it, since Sandra and I started together way back in March of 1998. So we just wanted to take a minute and just say, wow, how far we've come. I think back to my very first faxes. We didn't even have email, Sandra. Do you remember that?
I do.
I had times, don't fax between this and this because it's the middle of the night and the fax machine is in my bedroom and it wakes my husband up. I mean, we didn't even have email. That's how long ago it was. And then we upgraded, we got email. So many stories and so many things that we've done, and it's just been amazing to see what God has done and to just see that for me personally, I think about my first visits to the communities, and it really was, they were barely hanging on. I mean, that was the sense, like were the communities going to survive? Like, we knew they were going to, but it was tough. It was a struggle because this was 98. This was right before the Intifada started, the second Intifada started, and it was just like back and forth, back and forth. Is the Israeli government gonna shut down all the communities? It was really a struggle, and then to come in today, and it's a completely different feeling. I mean, like, I don't think, I mean, there's still a debate and there's lots of politics and all that, but the sense from within the community is not only are we not struggling and not going to survive, but we're thriving. And we have new challenges, we have new things going on, and we've got new territory to take. So there's always a challenge, there's always a struggle, but we have the next generation. And I think that's really what I've seen in 25 years. I think of just, I'm remembering my first trips to Israel, and one of the things that I so strongly remember is the hovels, and I just cannot have any other word for it. As we were driving through Samaria, as we're driving through Judea, and in these Palestinian villages, there are these hovels that were on the side of the road, and I would say to you, why do they live like this? Like how, what is going on here? And you said, but they're beautiful inside. And you just said, but they're not finished. And I said, but it's a hovel. I mean, it's a pile of concrete with rebar sticking up on the roof, and it just looks like a bombed out building. And you said, no, Kim, they're just not finished. And today, when I drive through Judea and Samaria, you know what I see? I don't see hovels anymore. They are mansions, absolute mansions. And you were absolutely right. They just weren't finished. They were under construction. And I just take that as like the where we've come, how far we've come, is that we have seen our communities grow, we've seen relationships grow, how many hundreds of people, thousands of people that we've brought to visit Jewish communities, that hopefully we've made a difference and changed their perception on Judea and Samaria and Jewish life in Israel. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Sandra?
Well, it is exciting for me to. I do remember going all the way back when it was just you and me, and I was sitting in Israel, and I had more experience. I was older than you, but I still was new at starting our own organization. You were really young. You
I
hadn't
was
even been
really
to
young.
Israel when we first spoke on the phone, and really, and it was actually quite amazing because you really had this amazing love for Israel, and I couldn't understand where it came from, and I didn't even realize at that point how little you really knew about Israel, but you just had this innate sense of what God wanted you to be doing and how He wanted you to be involved with Israel, and together that grew into what we have today, which, thank God, is quite a nice size organization. Is growing. We have a lot of support. We've managed to do a lot of interesting things, and as many of you probably already know, for me this is also a very special year because after 25 years doing this, and I'm 65. I'm going to be 66 in the fall, And so I've decided to step down as director. And looking back at all the things that I have been involved with, I was just saying the other day to one of the women who work in our office in Israel, we were talking about the different jobs that people fill in the organization. And I said to her, I said, when I opened the Israel office, I did all the jobs because it was just me, whether it was filing or making photocopies or doing administrative stuff or speaking or writing, I did it all. And then, of course, as we grew, thank God, we were able to afford to hire staff who could help out. And, that's to me such a, I remember also years of tremendous worry. We had a vision, we knew what we wanted to do, but then, sometimes we get to a point where we say we're out of money and we don't know if we're going to be able to survive. And, as an organization, what are we going to do? And so it really, I would say we went through a lot of difficult times, and thank God, God has blessed our work, and we're in a whole different place, today. So I feel like now, as I am about to step down as director, I feel like I'm handing over a very, very strong organization to Shmuel, who will be taking over my position as director. But at the same time, I am going to be remaining very much involved with CFOIC. If I think about what I'm looking at, for this coming year, to me, it's all about relationships. On the one hand, I now, I have 5 children. They're all grown. They're all married, and they have produced 12 grandchildren for me and my husband, Ed. And, I still work very hard and very long hours. And I've come to a point where I say, I want more time to spend with my family, to help my children when I can, look after their children, to just have a good time, and, have days when I just say, okay, this is a time everybody gets to visit Savta, that's grandma, and just enjoy my time with them. On the other hand, I am not the personality that is going to sit back and retire and sit and knit little booties for babies and rock in the rocking chair. That is absolutely not who I am and where I'm coming from. But I do feel I'm ready to hand over the overall responsibility for this organization. I feel I was there, I birthed it, I moved it, I grew it, I carried all this responsibility, and now I'm ready to release it. And at the same time, I'm ready to release all the administrative kind of work, which many of you don't see that. It's the behind the scenes work, but it's something that keeps me very, very busy. But I will, thank God, be able to continue on relationships. Again, if I want to spend more time with my family and strengthening those relationships, at the same time, I want to be spending a lot more time at CFOIC, strengthening the relationships with all the wonderful friends and supporters that I've built over the years. And I'll have more time to do that, because I won't be worrying about balancing the books and figuring out, where the money's going and who gave what, and then, how it's supposed to get distributed, and making sure every community is using the money the way it's supposed to, and all that follow up. And forget it. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to just talk to you, our friends and supporters around the world, write, speak, meet on Zoom, teach Bible, all the stuff that I absolutely adore doing. And I'm looking forward to this new season. And it's a new season. We have in Israel, in Judaism, we have a saying that when you wish somebody, if somebody has a birthday and you want to wish them long life, you say till 120, because there's this idea that ideal age is 120. Well, I'm more than halfway to 120. I have no idea if I'll get to 120. I'm not sure I want to get to 120, but I do look forward to many, many years of activity and relationships within the context of CFOIC. But really, I think, Shmuel, I think everybody would probably like to hear from you. How do you view this change, and where do you see yourself taking CFOIC beyond where it's been until now?
And before going to think about the future, let me take just a couple of notes to what you said. Listen, it's amazing to see. I'm going to talk to both of you, right? But And two people that made amazing effort and amazing work, and basically worked for 25 years in the business of making good and building new developments and ways for people to have better life in Judea and Samaria. We talk a lot about pioneers, but you need somebody out there in the back and to tell them be strong and courageous and do it and push them. And that was really what CFOIC was all about. From the beginning, you were able to give them the power to do good. And this saying, be strong and courageous, in Hebrew, it says chazak ve'ematz, chazak ve'ematz. Sandra just mentioned about the blessing of 120, right? You know why we say 120? Because we have one person who lived until 120, and he was the biggest person alive. This is Moses, of course. And it's funny that in Joshua, on the first chapter, and you're laughing because that's, what I'm adding. In Joshua chapter 1, the verse, be strong and courageous, is mentioned 3 times. And obviously, I understand why. Now I understand, because when Joshua is there standing to replace Moses, I remind you, this is the person who just walked them through in the wilderness for 40 years. It was their father, their mother, their everything, right? It was really everything about him was, he was connected with Israel, with the promise that God made, with like the Exodus. And now Joshua needs to take over, right? Because he's 120 years. And that's a frightening moment for Joshua. You understand that he is going to fill big shoes. And although you're trying to downplay it, Sandra, this is a big task to do everything you've been doing for so many years. Everybody who knows you know that you work basically nonstop. In the field of working and doing good, there's always this tendency of people to be more chilled and relaxed. Sandra was able to take the Wall Street mindset of working 24/7. Okay, no, 24/6, right? 24/6, and implement it into the NGO, non-government, non-NGOs, non-governmental organizations and non-profit organizations. And you're working in CFOIC and building it just in a system that is equal to a business. So you're working without stop. This is going to be hard, a big shoes to fill, and I'm excited about it, of course. But I feel humble, and I'm in awe of the situation, and I'm afraid a bit. So I'm saying this strong and courageous part also a bit for me. Moving forward, of course, I'll do everything we did until now, and I just try to think in new ways we can develop and try maybe to implement some, I would say the only difference we have really is the age gap. And, we have the same core beliefs, but the age gives something else. Everybody now talks about AI and ChatGPT and, all the social media and all the elements that really brings people different in different ways. Look at what we're doing right now. You were talking about facts. Now we are in StreamYard in very high definition video conference. That's amazing. I think that's a great tool, and there's many new tools we can use to develop our work, but the core is there. Nothing changed. We are in the business of doing good and developing Judea and Samaria and helping the pioneers of Israel. From the first day you started until now, nothing changed. So there's no fax anymore, and there's high-speed internet, but it's the same.
Wow, that's great.
Fantastic.
Shmuel, like we were talking earlier, and you were telling me about this idea you had of reaching out to the young people, and trying to get them involved. I'm wondering if there's any people out there watching this that could help us in that endeavor. Finding us young people, or maybe young people themselves are listening to us as we're having this conversation.
Wow, I think that's always something to be concerned about, right? When we have our, core supporters, and there are certainly, they've been there for a while, and we need to look at the next generation, right? Am I just coming into being in a more leadership role, the next generation all over the world, with your kids. I'm literally your kids, but every person who listens here, he has kids and he has people that he knows that are in the next generations, the newer people that come to church that are want to be involved, that want to take this leadership role. And there's a big task here. How can we connect the younger generation to this CFOIC movement? I would say what I'm calling here is, if you know people that want to be involved, I would love to have a conversation. Maybe just like a round table, like a think tank, whatever we can call it. Just have some people here, maybe in a video conference, and listen to have new ideas, new ways to bring new people in the movement. I'm sure the same concern you have, the people who are just listening to us, they have as well. I love Israel. I care about Israel. How can I connect my kids, my grandchildren to this movement? This is a task, and that's something we need to consider moving forward. What can happen more from your end, do you feel?
Well, I think I was just thinking about it. And a lot of times when people announce their retirement, that last year is kind of like they've already mentally checked out, and that last year is really, and I just have to say, Sandra has not mentally checked out. I want everybody to know that she is going full core. I mean, we have 3 trips to America planned, a trip to England, a trip to Holland, a trip to Australia. I mean, non-stop. That's just in 2023, right? We haven't talked about 2024. But this is an opportunity that this is the last year that Sandra is on full-time as the director. And so, now's your chance, basically. If you want to have Sandra, now is your chance. So contact us. We are booking her. We're booking Shmuel, and we're going full stop. So what else, Shmuel?
That's so true. It's great that you said that, because sometimes the feeling you get with CFOIC and with Sandra is we're around. They're coming. If not in October, they're gonna be here in May. If not in May, they're gonna be here in July. It's true that we're always there, but it's probably the last opportunity to have available dates when
Yes.
Sandra, and I hope Sandra, you're gonna travel less. And we're not going to allow that you're going to fly all over the world at all times. And this is an opportunity not to be missed. There are some dates available for Sandra. It would be a very smart move to close that and know that she's going to be at your church, at your group this year, this next trips.
Absolutely. I will say, though, that I will continue to travel.
Of course.
You will see me, but it's going to be much less than it was these past times, because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's happened on those planes and getting, sleeping on planes, curled up in coach,
It's hard.
It's hard. I can still do it, but I'm just not going to do it as much, because it's, we have to listen to our bodies. And it's time to stop doing that as often and as intensively as I've done it until now. Absolutely. And then there's Shmuel, who's young and fit, and we can throw him on a plane, every 2 months.
Look, we're not going anywhere
for the first time.
I understand that I would need to have more time spent there and travel more, but I know that no matter how much I'm going to live and I'm going to travel, I'm not going to be able to fill out the gap of times and running around between countries and places, which like Sandra did. I'll try my best, but it's not going to be the same. But of course, not to be mistaken, Sandra is not going to leave the traveling work. She's going to travel. She's going to talk. She's going to teach. She's going to continue with that. That's not even a question. As long as God is going to give her power, and I hope it's going to also give her to be strong and courageous, she's going to continue until 120. That's our deal. That's what we say.
Amen. So that's our update. Just wanted to say, woohoo, we've hit 25 years. and we are going strong. We're not holding back. We've got lots of new challenges. I think Israel still faces, Israel's hitting 75 years this year. Like
Yes.
May or April is 75 years, and we've been
Yes.
around for 25 years. That's pretty amazing, actually, really. So just a lot of exciting things going on this year, and we just wanted to give you guys a personal update and let you know what was happening.
Thank you.
Amazing.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Toda. Bye.
Toda.
I hope you enjoyed that film. And we have lots more film content and emails and articles that I'm sure you will enjoy as well. Check out our website at CFOIC.com and subscribe to our newsletter. You can do that right from the homepage. I know you will really enjoy the content that will land in your inbox on a regular basis. Hope to see you soon.